Our arrangement already. Her voice remained controlled, but Tom noticed her hands tensing slightly. No, I just meant. Hypothetically, her posture relaxed, then hypothetically the ship would return you. But she hesitated. There's a minimum contract fulfillment period, of course. There is. Tom sighed. How long? 7 jumps. Tom's bio lens flickered as he processed this information. 7 jumps didn't sound so bad, and we've done 1 so far. To this pizza place. Carrara nodded. 6 more and you'd be free to choose 6 more portals, 6 more rituals. Tom contemplated what that might entail as heat crept up his neck. All right, universe, he muttered, you promised me a show. By the 3rd jump Tom had stopped panicking and started enjoying himself. I still can't believe that worked, he shouted, racing down a corridor of the ship that now expanded and contracted like a living thing. His gravity sneakers pissed frantically as they struggled to maintain their hover over the organic crystal floor. Ziara glided beside him effortlessly, her platinum hair floating as if underwater. Your desire was exceptionally specific. I just said I wanted to see the galaxy's best sunset and the cathedral craters of Melvoria 9 delivered. She laughed, the sound rippling through the ship's atmosphere like music, though I didn't expect them to erupt into spontaneous opera during the sunset. Tom skid to a halt at the observation deck, a crystalline dome that currently displayed a real-time view of their dimensional transit rainbow. Wormholes folded and unfolded around them like origami made of light. This is insane, he breathed, pressing his palm against the transparent barrier. 3 days ago I was worried about making rent, now I'm. He gestured at the cosmos beyond. Whatever this is. Zara moved beside him, ship's navigator, heartbound traveler, my ritual partner. Each title she spoke brought her a step closer. Tom turned to face her, suddenly aware of how the ship's lighting caught the contours of her face, highlighting the constellation-like patterns beneath her violet skin. Why me? He asked quietly. There must be thousands of humans with more, I don't know, ambitious desires than discounted student housing. Zara's gaze softened. The ship chooses. I merely posted the listing. Tom's tic-tac suitcase, which had been following them like an obedient pet, suddenly emitted a warning beep. The motivation meter on its side flashed red. What does that mean? Zara asked, eyeing the suitcase. It means, Tom began, but was interrupted by a violent lurch as the ship shuddered around them. Red emergency lights pulsed through the corridors. A display materialized in the air before them, showing what appeared to be massive obsidian structures surrounding their position. Antos. Inquisition vessels, Zara whispered, her voice tight with fear. How did they find us so quickly? The who now? Tom squinted at the black monolithic ships that resembled flying monasteries crossed with military dreadnoughts. The anchors. They regulate dimensional travel, ensure rituals follow ancient protocols. Ziara grabbed his arm. They believe unregistered jumps destabilize reality. The ship jolted again as a beam of dark energy struck its shields. Unauthorized ritual contract detected, boomed a voice that seemed to originate from inside Tom's head rather than any external speakers. Surrender the vessel for immediate confiscation and protocol restoration. Tom fumbled for his laser Swiss tool, reflexively clicking it to the miniature flathead screwdriver setting. Maybe we can fix this situation with this. Despite the dire circumstances, Zara actually laughed. I admire your optimism, but we need something stronger than that. She pulled him toward the central chamber where the contract scroll still hung from its wall mount. We need a more powerful jump, one they can't track. And how do we do that? Her galaxy eyes locked with his. We've done touch. She raised her hand to mime their first palm toll connection. We've done embrace. She mimicked a hug, referencing their second jump initiated by an impulsive embrace after the sunset. Viewing the next level as Tom's mouth went dry. A kiss. The ship rocked violently as another black beam struck. Warning lights intensified. Surrender the human anomaly, the voice commanded. His untrained desire signature threatens dimensional stability. Ziara's expression hardened. They want your energy. Signature is rare, too powerful to be allowed free movement according to their dogma. Great, Tom groaned. Space Church wants to sacrifice me just like high school prom over again. Another blast hit them and the crystalline walls began to crack. We don't have a choice, Carrara said. We need to jump somewhere they can't follow. Tom's heart hammered in his chest, partly from fear, partly from the prospect of kissing the violet-skinned beauty before him. Where would that be? The white zone, she whispered. Empty dimension, unmapped, unpredictable. Sounds delightful, Tom quipped, his bio lens flickering frantically. Just another Tuesday for Thomas Quint. Homework, laundry, escape to Unmapped dimension. Zara stepped closer, her hands finding his. This isn't just a ritual kiss, the emotion must be genuine for a jump this significant. Tom swallowed hard. That won't be a problem as the black dreadnoughts closed in, as the ship's alarms blared in warning as the universe seemed to collapse around them. Tom leaned down and pressed his lips to Tiara's. The connection was electric. Literally blue energy sparked where their lips met, coursing through Tom's entire body. The sensation wasn't just physical, it was as if every cell in his being recognized something familiar in her, reaching out, connecting at a quantum level. The ship responded instantly. The walls, floor, ceiling, everything began to glow with blinding white light. Tom felt the vessel fold inward, compressing space around them, and then violently expand outward. When he opened his eyes, the blackness of space had been replaced by nothing. Absolute whiteness stretched in every direction, featureless and infinite. Did it work? Tom gasped, reluctantly breaking the kiss but keeping Karara in his arms. She blinked rapidly, her cheeks flushed a deep magenta. We're in the white zone. We actually made it. She seemed genuinely shocked. No one's ever reached this dimension with a residential vessel before. Tom glanced out at the empty whiteness. Not exactly a tourist destination, is it? Zara laughed, still breathless from their kiss. We literally outran Space Church in our slippers. Her formal demeanor had cracked, revealing something more playful beneath. Tom grinned, unwinding the now frayed contract from its holder and dramatically tying it around his head like a bandana. Take that, dimensional hall monitors. Their laughter echoed through the ship, a momentary release of tension, but as the adrenaline faded, Tom's scientific curiosity kicked in. So what exactly is this place? Zara's expression grew more serious. Reality without mapping, pure potential. She moved to a control panel that seemed to grow organically from the wall. But we're not safe yet. The Supreme Anchor Sisters personally hunt those who reach the white zone, the who now elite enforcers. They wear shape-shifting obsidian armor and can trace desire signatures across dimensional barriers. She manipulated symbols on the panel. We need to mask your signature. Tom ran a hand through his copper hair. How many space organizations are after me exactly? Should I start a fan club? Zara didn't smile at his joke, which told him how serious the situation was. The sisters believe human desire is too unstable, too powerful. If they capture you, they'll extract your energy into an anchor cube. That sounds unpleasant, fatal, she corrected grimly. Tom paced the control room, his mind racing. Okay, so we're in this white zone. We've done 3 jumps, 4 more, and I'm free. But Space Church is hunting us. What's the plan? Zara hesitated, avoiding his gaze. There's something I haven't told you about the contract. Tom's stomach sank. Why am I not surprised? She gestured to the parchment wrapped around his head. You should read the fine print. Now you tell me. Tom sighed, unwinding the contract. He squinted at the microscopic text, his bio lens struggling to focus on the shifting letters. This is like trying to read quantum equations written on an ant's back. Zara touched the parchment and certain phrases illuminated. Eternal service to the ritual owner after 7 successive translocations. Tom's blood ran cold. Eternal service, like forever. Zara's voice was barely audible. I never intended to activate the full contract. Most humans can barely generate enough desire energy for a single jump. She looked up at him, genuine remorse in her stellar eyes. Your capacity is unprecedented. I just needed enough energy for my research expedition, so I'm just a battery to you. Tom stepped back, feeling the betrayal like a physical blow. Human emotional energy, rare resource, right? Initially, yes, she admitted, but these past days, the way you see the universe, your humor, your ridiculous tool. She gestured to his Swiss tool. I've never met anyone who actually desires with such creativity, with such heart. Tom wanted to be angry, but something kept pulling him toward her. Literally, when he tried to step further away, an invisible force seemed to draw him back. What's happening? He demanded, fighting the magnetic attraction. The contract, Zara explained, it's binding us closer with each jump. By the 7th, the bond becomes permanent. Tom's mind raced. There had to be a way out. He examined the contract again, focusing on his signature. The dried blood had altered the ink, giving it a strange shimmering quality. Zara, he said slowly, whose blood is in this contract? Now yours, she replied, confusion crossing her features. And whose signature was applied last? Her eyes widened with realization. Yours. Tom felt a surge of hope. The contract obeys you, he tested, because you're the curator, right? Zara shook her head slowly. No, it obeys the last signatory. She stared at him with new understanding. The contract is responding to your desires, not mine. Human desires are the strongest force in the galaxy. That's why the anchors fear them. Tom looked down at the contract in his hand seeing it in a new light, not as a trap but as possibility. So you're saying, he grinned slowly, I can rewrite the rules. The crystalline pen. I need it now, Tom demanded, eyes fixed on the contract in his hands, energy thrummed beneath his fingertips as if the parchment itself were alive. Zara hesitated. The architect's quill isn't meant for revisions, it's a sacred artifact for original bindings, only sacred to who? The same people trying to turn me into a battery. Tom's bio lens flickered erratically, reflecting his racing thoughts. We either change this contract or I become cosmic fuel. Your choice. With visible reluctance, Zara retrieved the pen from her robes. The implement resembled an elongated diamond shard that caught non-existent light in the white void surrounding their ship. Altering a quantum contract is unprecedented, she warned, passing him the artifact. The consequences could cascade beyond our understanding. Story of my academic career, Tom muttered, accepting the quill. Its weight surprised him, heavier than it looked. With a gravitational pull of its own, he placed the contract against the crystal control panel and studied the microscopic text, searching for the critical clause. His finger traced across phrases that shifted like living things beneath his touch. Here he finally declared, targeting a section of ancient script. This part about eternal service, that's what needs to change. Tom, wait, Carrara began, but he had already pressed the architect's quill to the parchment. The moment the crystal tip made contact, blinding white energy surged from Tom's hand into the artifact. The quill turned incandescent, growing too hot to hold, but he couldn't release it. Some force bound his fingers to the implement as it burned through the word servitude. Tom gritted his teeth against the pain. With deliberate strokes he inscribed mutual consent in place of the deleted text. Each letter blazed with electric blue fire as it materialized on the ancient document. Holy, he gasped as the completed phrase pulsed with power. The contract rippled, its entire structure reorganizing around the amended clause. The parchment folded in on itself, twisting into a new configuration before their eyes. When the transformation completed, the contract had reshaped into a golden ring with a magnifying lens at its center. The contract's essence distilled into physical form. A consent lens, Zara whispered in awe. I've only read about them in forbidden archives. Tom flexed his aching fingers. Did it work? Am I still on the menu as an all-you-can-eat emotion buffet? Before Shiara could answer, alarms blared throughout the ship. The white emptiness outside their viewport tore open like fabric, revealing 3 obsidian vessels emerging through the dimensional breach. The sisters. Carrara gasped. They've tracked us into the white zone. The ship's communication system activated without prompt. A holographic projection materialized. 2 identical figures in shifting obsidian armor that seemed to absorb rather than reflect light. Their faces remained hidden behind face plates that resembled polished black mirrors. Contract violators identified. The figures spoke in perfect unison, their voices resonating with unnatural harmony. Unauthorized revision detected. Prepare for soul separation protocol. Tom clutched the golden ring lens. I'm guessing that's bad. They'll extract your desire energy, Zara explained, terror evident in her voice, and dismantle me for allowing a human to alter a sacred contract over my dead body. Tom growled. Which I realized might literally be their plan. The obsidian ships extended mooring claws that latched onto their vessel. The crystalline walls groaned under the pressure. Surrender the human catalyst, the sisters commanded. Dimensional equilibrium must be maintained. Catalyst, Tom repeated. Glancing at Carrara, they sense your potential, she explained, fingers dancing over the ship's controls to reinforce the weakening shield's human desire. Energy doesn't just power jumps, it can rewrite reality itself. A loud crack echoed through the ship as the central dome began to fracture. The white void beyond the glass seemed to darken as if the sisters' presence corrupted even empty space. We need another jump, Tom decided, something bigger than the last one. Impossible, Zara countered. We're immobilized, and even if we weren't, there's nowhere in existence they can't follow. Tom's gaze fell to the golden lens ring. In his palm an idea sparked, dangerous, possibly insane, but exactly the kind of improbability that had defined his academic career. What if we don't go somewhere that exists, he suggested. What if we create our own destination? Before could respond, the ship lurched violently. The dome shattered inward, crystal shards suspended momentarily in zero gravity before a containment field automatically activated. Through the breach floated the anchor sisters, their obsidian armor flowing like liquid around their bodies. Each sister extended one hand, revealing identical black cubes emblazed with the symbol Tom now recognized as the Anchors mark violation of cosmic order, they announced, their synchronized voices reverberating painfully inside Tom's skull. Human vessel and space guardian cannot exist as equals. One sister directed her cube towards Karara, who collapsed to her knees as cobalt energy began draining from her body. Stop, Tom shouted, lunging forward only to be frozen in place by the second sister's cube. Emotional outburst detected. The sister observed dispassionately. Prime extraction candidate confirmed. Tom struggled against the invisible force binding him, his mind racing. The contract ring burned hot in his clenched fist. If human desire truly could reshape reality, you know why you fear us humans, he called out, straining against the immobilizing field. It's not because we're dangerous, it's because we're free. The sisters tilted their mirror-faced helmets in perfect unison. Humans are unanchored, untethered to cosmic law. One stated, a flaw to be corrected, the other added. Tom laughed. Despite the pain, a feature, not a bug. We desire more strongly because freedom is our oxygen. He forced his fingers to uncoil, revealing the golden lens ring. I grew up in foster homes across Earth, 7 families in 16 years, always chosen, never choosing. His voice strengthened with each word. But that ends today. I choose my own family now. With monumental effort, Tom extended his arm towards Sarah. I choose her. The violet-skinned woman's eyes widened, galaxy-like irises swirling with emotion. Soul bonding rejected, the sisters declared in unison. Separation protocol accelerating. The extraction beams intensified. Tom felt his consciousness beginning to splinter as his deepest desires were forcibly extracted. In desperation, he focused every remaining ounce of will on the ring. I choose us, he